What is up, guys, and welcome back to an episode of the F1 Clash 2024 series. If you guys did miss the previous episode, then the first episode of this, definitely be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. That was the start of a new series here. Unfortunately, yes, it has been a while, but we are finally back and ready to tackle this on. Once again, as you can see, yes, we're opening some of the crates we earned the last time around. You can see, yes, we got some new parts like those brakes and the front wing we got last time around, but overall just trying to get some new parts there to potentially be putting onto the car for this time around. We do actually also have some new drivers to potentially be contending with as well, one of them being Yuki Tsunoda. He's decent in his stats. For some reason, his qualifying stat is the worst, but he does have very good tire management and race starts, so put him high enough and maybe we'll give him a shot at the top. Also, Bottas has some decent stats as well. His qualifying and his race start are just underneath both Sargent and Hulkenberg's. But finally, we were able to put on some new brakes then, not the crappy old standard brakes there, as we make our way looking around here. We do also have a new front wing as well, called Glide, upgrading that to level 2 and putting that on the car. The car is starting to come together, as we now also have another one, the Accord for the engine. Surprisingly, we have not gotten the Series 1 edition yet. I don't know why, but now that raises our team score to 211, and our car is actually looking pretty decent here as we try to see who can we potentially use. I think we will be using Hulkenberg and Sargent for one of these races, if not both, but we might give Bottas a bit of a go in the near future here. As you can clearly see, he's up there, he's in contention. But anyways, then we are starting our first race here, going against a guy with 216 team score, so relatively similar in terms of overall performance, but it's just going to see who's got the better strategy. We are in Silverstone, Series 2 tire trials, so tire management is going to be crucial for all these tracks, so we'll see how we do as the drivers come all the way back. For a moment, it looked like they were going to be qualifying really far behind, but instead they are finishing P15 and P16, so we'll see how they do here. We're going to be putting Sargent then on the medium tires. We'll give him the self-control boost eventually. For Hulkenberg, though, because he's doing a two-stopper here, he's doing a much more aggressive two-stopper here, we're going to need him to get up through the pack as quickly as possible. We're going to give him the reindeer boost. He will be going onto the soft tires, so we'll see how that will go. As we go to 5 red lights, then, for the third time this series, lights out, away we go. Hulkenberg gets a decent start there, as does Sargent. They both make the way through turn 1 cleanly, as Hulkenberg will now take the lead car into oh my gosh, I don't even know my corner names here, as Sargent goes absolutely flying on the outside of 3 cars there. Beautiful move there from the American driver, as Hulkenberg gets back down the inside of not 1 but 2 drivers and makes his way then up into P10 now, as he just manages to outdrag Albon before a Copse corner. Sargent, he is still up in 8th. We are leading this thing by a long shot, and we're actually going to be trying to extend this stint with Sargent. If we can make the medium tires last 3 laps, that would be absolutely perfectly ideal here, so you can just simply go on a 1-stop until the end of the race. But Hulkenberg, we are committing to a 2-stop strategy, so we are going to be sending him onto the medium tires up next to try and see if we can get to 2 more laps. Don't want to push the soft tires too much to the point where we are going to be suffering towards the end here, as they make their way through left field here. Sargent's going to let I think that's one of the Aston Martins do. Hulkenberg will follow around the outside, but that's totally fine. That's exactly what we need. We just need Sargent just to preserve his tires and see if he can make it last 3 laps. But for Hulkenberg, we are just making sure we can get through as quickly as possible. Right now, according to the calculations, Sargent should be making it at the end, but it's going to be very, very, very tight, as you can see here. We're also going to be putting on another set of mediums. I actually forgot. I think it's a 5-lap race, so clearly I do not know how to do math, but yeah. But in terms of Hulkenberg, we are going to be trying to do, I think so, yeah, 3 plus. So yeah, we'll try doing a 1-stop then with him. I did want to put him though on the reindeer boost, simply because of the fact that he was a bit farther down the order. If you could get it quickly using the soft tires, it could probably be easier to undercut a lot of guys. So again, clearly I don't know how to do math, so of course 3 plus 2 equals 5. So the thing is, now we could in theory put Sargent on the soft compounded tires, but to keep it safe, we are going to be putting him onto the mediums, as he is just out of tires as he reaches the pit lane. Hulkenberg is going to be flying through, and we're going to be making sure to actually pit him at the end of this lap. I tried to think about stretching it 3 laps, but Hulkenberg simply just does not have the time management compared to Sargent. Sargent is much, much better in that kind of aspect. So we're going to be pushing to try to see if we can get through and quickly get past a couple of the guys so that before we pit, so that we can get some fresh tires on and come flying straight out of the pit lane here. As Sargent, well, he's trying to overtake one of the Aston Martins. I think that's Lance Stroll just in front of him, but annoyingly Stroll is getting in the way. And actually, he's going to lose a position to Hamilton as well. Or I think that's Hamilton. Yeah, that is Hamilton. As that's not ideal. Actually, that's it's Gasly that was he was stuck behind, but now he is ahead as he makes his way onto the final lap. We are going to let him go full send here on the team as Hulkenberg makes his way out of the pit stop. He is going to be ahead, behind. I think he's going to be behind Hamilton here at the moment. I think that's Hamilton. Yes, I can confirm that is the Brit himself. As we make our way through roughly here, Hulkenberg's getting a bit held up behind the British driver here as Sargent is rapidly catching up. He's going to go on the outside. We're going to let that go for now as they make their way through Maggots and Beckett's. Beautiful set of corners. And now as we make our way into the final sector here, Sargent is still flying there on his medium tires. Unfortunately, he does not. I don't think he will be getting the fastest lap this time around. No, he will not, unfortunately. But we do come home in P9 and P10, so that is a very, very, very solid result for the team as we wait for our teammate to finish here. His Bottas is on the soft tires, finishing up, heading into the last sector, as is Hulkenberg, both on the soft tires as well. But that is another dub for us. Very, very happy for that and for the team as we came home with another P9, P10. We probably could have made a one-stop work with the guys if we went on the harder tires, but good to see some aggression then from our drivers as we made our way through. And yeah, we get a Series 2 standard crate, so another standard crate for us to unlock, and eventually we will get some, hopefully, some extra stuff. And we came back another day for another time to race on F1 Clash. We get very close to getting a gold crate on the spinners. Instead, we get a 30-minute gold surge. But yes, we are ready to open up some crates as we get a new driver. Well, Valtteri Bottas, his rare edition, his common edition. But yes, we do have a new driver to potentially be using here, depending on how much coins we have. The coins are a little stingy, I will not lie in this game, as we get another front wing there, and 2 more cold fusion of the gearbox. So we are actually getting some decent parts then from this these crates here. As we now open up the crate we actually earned the last time, we get 9 more of Sonoda. We get a couple more for those new brakes that we got recently. We get a couple more for the rear wing, and then 2 more for those brakes. Again, we don't have a lot of coins to spend, so we're not going to be now the task of trying to spend them sparingly here. So we only have about 17,000 left to really fiddle around with, so it's not really that helpful here. We can upgrade the front wing gallop, which is going to make things a lot easier on us. Has better speed, better qualifying here. The only issue is in the power unit, but that probably isn't too much of an issue, as we now go against a guy who has a team rating of 232, so we are going against some pretty difficult guys here, punching above our weight, but as long as we can come out with a dub, I am perfectly fine with that. Anyways, we are in the United Arab Emirates around the Yas Marina circuit, the updated Yas Marina circuit. One of our drivers is absolutely flying up there, but both of our drivers will be able to qualify ahead of the others. We are still using the Sargent Hulkenberg strategy for now, and it is going to be a 5-lap race, but it is going to require some tire saving here, as you can clearly see. The temperatures are hovering just under 30 degrees Celsius, and if you guys do play F1 Clash, you do know that in F1 Clash, anything over 30 degrees Celsius, the tires will have more grip, of course, but they will wear out a lot faster. You can see us, we're trying to look through the boost there, but we are going to just simply settle with the self-controlled boost. Hulkenberg will be able to go on the soft tires, and then Sargent is on the medium tires. Lights out, and away we go. Good start there from Sargent, a decent start there from Hulkenberg as we now make our way towards turn 1. Sargent on the outside makes a good couple moves there as he moves his way up into P13, into the hairpin he goes. Can he sneak a couple more moves? He tries to, and in doing so, he actually lets Hulkenberg through. So Hulkenberg is now up into P12 with Sargent down in P13, but it is perfectly fine. Make that P14. Oh, no, never mind. Make that P13 and P11 as Hulkenberg now makes his way up into P11. We are essentially trying to do a one-lap sprint with Hulkenberg. These soft tires simply do not last here. Well, at least under Hulkenberg, they just don't last because they're already down to 45%. We've only used one lap with them. But anyways, he's coming into the pits. Sargent's going to be going on a one-stop. We're going to be doing now this strat where he goes from the mediums to the hard tires. Hulkenberg will be in a soft medium strategy, so he's going to be pushing aggressively flat out as Hulkenberg makes his way out of the pits now very slowly. Not sure what that's all about, but the German does get his get a move on, and Sargent makes his way up into P10 with Hulkenberg down in P20, cycling through just to make sure that we can save a bit of battery for these guys. ERS deployments are a little interesting. It takes quite a bit to charge the battery, but once you do charge it and you do go full attack on fresh tires, it is very fast. You can definitely eat up a lot of ground very quickly. We are pushing through the final sector, trying to see if we can get past Hulkenberg. I know Hulkenberg, trying to get past Hulkenberg is quite wild. We do eventually do it, but not without draining our battery down to 4%. So all that saving we just did was not really ideal, as we are planning to pit Hulkenberg at the end of lap 3 here. Let's try to go on another set of medium tires to finish off this race. Hulkenberg is running in P14 with Sargent now completing his one and only stop. He was running in P16, so hopefully, because he's running on the one stop, he will be able to not only get a lot of track position, but hopefully he'll be able to hold back some of the other guys as well. We are charging his battery. His battery is up to 60%. Hulkenberg, we are pushing through the final sector, just trying to see if we can eke out the tires and the battery to sort of give ourselves a bit of a buffer before we enter the pits there. As Hulkenberg now enters the pits, that we take, Sargent now takes the quote-unquote lead for our team as he makes his way now up back into P10 here. So the one-stopper does seem to be working so far. We are going to have to watch the tire wear on the hard tires. Remember, the hard tires are the slowest tire of the 3 here, but they are the most durable. So if we can make it last a little bit, then it would be very nice. Sargent doesn't have really anyone around him, so we can honestly afford to save quite a bit of battery without having to worry about him getting overtaken. As for Hulkenberg, he's trying to get past Hulkenberg, and he does so successfully up into P19 here. New tires beating old tires, of course, and a bit of the extra cornering there thanks to that self-control boost. As Sargent is making his way onto the final lap then of the, well, quote-unquote Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, we are going to be letting him push flat out until the end. As for Hulkenberg, we are trying to sort of see if we can preserve any sort of battery whatsoever, doing a bit of micromanaging on these very mini straights. He tries to get past Bottas, but he ends up actually backing out of it, which is quite annoying. Hulkenberg is still down to P17. Sargent is in P9 now, as Hulkenberg now gets past Bottas up into, I think that's P16 then, as Sargent is still making his way. I think he's onto the final section now. Hulkenberg is looking pretty decent right now as we make our way towards the final sector here. Sargent pushing flat out here. Let's see if we get Hulkenberg one more position here. I'm not sure who that is just up ahead of it. I think that's Daniel Ricciardo, as he does go on down the inside then of the Honey Badger, and we are then up into P15, and that'll be P9 and P15 for us as we round out the race. Very good job from the boys once again as we wait for our rival to finish. His Bottas is coming to the final corner, and he will finish the race as Hulkenberg is making his way through the final set of corners, and he will be finishing in P23. But that is going to be it then for this episode, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Then if you guys did enjoy this kind of content, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next episode, hopefully a lot sooner rather than later.